Hello everybody and welcome back for match 4 of our CSW Tournament finals between Wynntense and Taloff. We saw the first two matches go to Taloff and the third match went to Wynntense, so we have a pretty close game going on.
In other news, my hangover is finally waning from that terrible date from last night.
Magnificent. Okay, so we see here in the mulligans, Wynn very quickly gets rid of two of his cards. He does keep the arcane missiles again. And meanwhile, Taloff has both of his Earth Shocks already. I don't think that's the mulligan he wanted, but who knows? Alright, a quick pass from Wynntense. Quick pass from Taloff. Alright, well that was an easy turn one. We see the Sorcerer's Apprentice coming out, which gives him the free arcane missiles, which he chooses not to use yet. Oh, wow. Okay, so Taloff's using his Rockbiter to quickly remove that Apprentice. I guess he's afraid of some low-cost Frostbolt, etc.
Goodbye.
Okay.
It seems that really took Wynn by surprise, because he doesn't really know what he's doing next. He opts to draw and pass his turn. We do now see some options for Taloff. He can play the Acidic Swamp Ooze because there's no threat of weapons, or he can play the Bloodfen Raptor, which is essentially the same thing at a 3-2. That Mono Worm does give him some options. He has got a handful of spells, but it's probably going to die immediately. At this point, he can kind of hope for a very lucky Arcane Missiles, and if he misses, he can follow it up with that Fire Blast.
Yeah, he's gonna really want to damage the other player, Ryan.
Well, he's doing that so far. Or rather, Taloff damaged himself by taking 3 damage to his own face.
Sometimes you have to spite your nose to clean your face.
I think I've heard that before. What are his other options? I guess he's got that Counterspell, which is a good kind of preemptive ability against Shaman. It would be unfortunate, though, if he just counters the coin. Then again, I guess that could prevent you from taking a very early Fire Elemental. Let's see what he does, though. He puts down the Mono Worm. Are we going to see Arcane Missiles?
Feed the beast, baby.
Let's go. Hit the friggin' ooze.
Okay, good random number generator. I guess either way it works out to 2 damage to the hero, 2 damage to the creature. Oh, that's a pretty good draw at this point.
Chillwind Yeti would not be a bad play.
Yeah. It would be enough to remove the worm while still surviving. Let's see though, he has got that weapon that he can also play the Bloodfen Raptor, or he could just Earth Shock and make the worm kind of a non-threatening 1-2. Unable to play the Forked Lightning as there's not a second target out there. Alright, so he's gonna... Oh, wow. So he does a little of everything. He drops the totem, he puts out the Raptor, and he does play the Earth Shock after all.
Jack of all trades, if you will.
Wynn in this case not in a good position to use the Auctioneer. Taloff has got the 4 damage on the board. Additionally, unbeknownst to Wynn, he's got the Forked Lightning and the Stormforged Axe.
He'll just run the Assassin on it. He just blew an Earth Shock. This is a good play.
Oh, and there we go. He plays the Crusader, assuming there's not a second Earth Shock in Taloff's hand. That could go poorly.
Boobs on the board, not gonna save him.
Okay, so he is going to trade away his minions to get rid of that Raptor. Oh, if only Taloff still had that coin, we could have a very early Fire Elemental going on. Let's see if he decides to use... Okay, so he opts not to use the Earth Shock. I guess he's hoping to maintain board control going into his next turn. Wynntense does draw the second Sorcerer's Apprentice, though, which will allow him to play the Apprentice, and he could even Fireball and Frostbolt on this turn.
That would be 3.
That also reduces the cost of those 2 secrets he's got, although he might be saving them for his Arcanist.
3, I could counterspell and Fireball the Yeti.
Wynntense has got a roommate popping around and back and a beautiful picture of what looks like a goat.
Let's call it the goat.
I like this because I can't... Damn it!
Oh no, he miscounted!
If only I could count.
Oh, playing that secret really limited his options this turn. But, on the bright side, he has got a secret. So we'll see if that counterspell really interferes with Taloff's play here.
I've got a secret too, Ryan. I love Asian women.
And there it is! The Forked Lightning gets counterspelled. I think that actually worked out immediately. That's arguably better than playing the Fireball last turn for Wynn. We see Taloff kind of rethinking his options here. He certainly did not plan on that. The second Scarlet Crusader coming out. Let's see how he wants to play this one. Without using the Fireball, he can't clear the entire board this turn. He is going to get rid of the bigger damage on the board. I guess on the bright side, if he does play the Ice Block, that's a secret that's going to stay out for a very long time. Taloff will have no way to remove that. He just weakens the Raptor a bit and passes the turn back. At this point, Taloff can play his Fire Elemental. That will remove the shield. He could come in with his Hero Power, and then again, he's still got that Earth Shock, which will knock it out in one shot.
Looks like we've got a little bit of indecision going on right now. And by indecision, let me tell you about indecision. Last night, woman could not pick wine for the life of her. Wait, and here we go.
So we do see the Earth Shock coming out. Taloff uses everything except the Fire Elemental from his hand, and next turn he'll be back without any overload. Wynntense has Pagel on this deck.
Natty P.
We did not see that last match. Let's see if he decides to use it here.
Yeah, I like that.
And he does after all. Okay, so he significantly reduces Taloff's board at the cost of 1 Fireball. And... Alright, so we're back to Taloff, who draws into his Earthen Ring Farseer. I believe we are going to see the Fire Elemental come out. That'll be the 3 damage on Pagel, followed by the 1 damage from the Totem. And we have a clear board again for the Mage. We've got a Healing Totem as just a little garnish.
Alright. Do I want to just blow the Auctioneer?
I don't really know what you do in this position if you're Wynn. The Auctioneer's really not going to draw into too much against that Fire Elemental. But then again, the Water Elemental would go out probably this turn. Which Taloff could then heal up the damage, although he'd have a frozen character. Oh, which would also get healed up right back from that Totem. So it would be a frozen 6/4. This is a tough position to be in.
Talking about tough positions. Let me tell you, when this girl could not decide on the wine, finally, she ends up picking something, and then complains half the time about her roommate having too much sex, living in Park Slope, and being a slut on a first date.
Man. On your first date? Or on hers?
Sadly, no, but I did ask her for her friend's number, which we'll see where that goes.
Alright, Wynn is running out of time here. He does drop the Elemental. Let's see if he does anything else this turn. Okay, so he knocks out the 1/1, knowing that anything else he does is probably going to get healed right back up. And Taloff draws yet another Stormforged Axe. So he pops his Hero Power, he gets out the Taunt Totem, which I think is exactly what he wanted in this situation.
Really nice.
Now he can really afford to ignore that water elemental momentarily and just kind of see what Wynn does instead. Okay, so he does... Okay, he drops 8 damage, which kind of puts himself into the health lead, at least temporarily.
Which is where you want to be.
Jesus Christ.
And there we go. I guess you really have to play. Yeah, the Auctioneer, play the spell, and hope to draw something good. Unfortunately, he gets another counterspell. Yeah, I think now you just ping the hero for 1 because that healing totem. Well, he started very strong, but things are starting to lose steam over on Wynn's side of the board. Meanwhile, Taloff, not off to a great amount of momentum, but he definitely has the advantageous position here. Oh, and the spell power totem. If the random number generator is on his side, this could be yet another board clear.
This could be fun.
I don't think there's anything in particular he really wants to save his mana for next turn, so that overload really is not going to be too costly. And he does pop the Lightning Storm. Ah, okay. RNG for once. 3-3 instead of 4-4.
Not what he's wanted to have happen.
Man, I wish that would happen in my matches. So he's got the option here. He can run the Earthen Ring Farseer into the Water Elemental, and then use his own axe, which he does, to clear the board. That'll bring Wynn down to 13. And he's got another axe on deck, although that will further overload him. Might not be a good option until he sees what he... Oh, he forgot to...
What?
He forgot to attack!
Oh.
Oh, that could be devastating! Meanwhile, Wynntense draws into his Ragnaros. I don't know if he necessarily wants to use it this turn. It might be good just to stop some damage
Not hit
coming
me
in.
with the elemental.
He can again Auctioneer and use the counterspell and just draw another card and see what he gets. That wouldn't do too much in terms of clearing Taloff's side of the board. But with only 1 card in hand, there's very little he can actually pull out on this next turn.
Pulling out is not something I had to worry about last night.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
Well, you know, what are you going to do? Not every day is a winner.
Oh, is that kind of not? I see now. Tough break.
You know, some light making out, can't complain. Definitely touched some interesting panties. Really were kind of, had a weird texture to them though. I'm not really used to that. But she said they were comfortable.
Was it coarse?
More coarse, like, yeah, almost like a carbon fiber. It was really weird. I never been used to it. But, hey man, whatever works for her.
Yeah.
Well, she went home alone.
Alright, so Wynn does play Ragnaros after all. So the Fire Lord coming out, let's see if he hits that Fire Elemental with it. No! Okay! Well, that does put Taloff into kill range, and it increases the urgency of removing Ragnaros this turn.
Big time.
The second Fire Elemental comes out though, which I think was pretty much a godsend for Taloff. That allows him to remove Ragnaros and still have a strong position going into next turn. Okay, so we see a totem come out. It is not the taunt he was looking for, but it is 1 more creature out on the board.
Ooh.
Is he going to test his fate? No? Okay. So he doesn't trust the random number generator. It was already unkind to him 2 turns ago.
Flame strike.
And let's see what Wynntense can do with this. He still has his secret out. That's going to prevent him from taking lethal damage. I still think the better option this turn. Play the Auctioneer, play the counterspell, and just hope for a good draw. There still is that hero power right afterward. He could knock out the Fire Totem. Flame Tongue Totem? No.
She did use a lot of tongue ride.
He's putting a lot of thought into this one. This is close. If he loses this match again, the entire tournament goes to Taloff. Oh, he draws into Cone of Cold, which going into next turn might be a very good option. We see Taloff draws another Farseer. That will kind of stop the bleeding here. And he's going to use his Stormforged Axe.
A lot on the board now.
Okay, so he chooses to use the axe directly to win. And is he going to run this elemental into the Gadgets and Auctioneer? He would bring it down to 11-11. Oh, you know, actually, he's not sure. He doesn't know what that secret is Wynntense has. It could be a Vaporize. He doesn't want to lose the Fire Elemental to a Vaporize, so he's not attacking. Oh, that explains earlier not attacking either. Okay, now things are making a little more sense.
Secrets are no fun.
I guess that's the caster's curse. I know what the secret is, so I'm not even thinking that way. I think Cone of Cold has to be the play here. And then he can still play the Golem with the Defender. That will use all of his cards. Oh, yeah, he actually wisely gets rid of that Flame Elemental before it can get healed up by the totem.
Peace out, dickhole.
Okay, so Taloff plays the Azure Drake. He gets some card draw into the Rockbiter. He could use this on one of his totems, or he could just give himself the 5 damage this turn. Oh, he pulls out the taunt. Or he could then just save it. He's not really retaliating with too much damage to win himself. So he chooses to go with the 2 off his axe, and he does end his turn. So the Rockbiter stays in hand, and we see Jason Wynn draws another
Really,
Water
that
Elemental.
Flame Strike would just be superb. It's gonna be so sweet.
Oh, that's actually a really strong counterplay.
A lot of aggression on the table
So
right now, Ryan.
So he drops Taloff down to 10 using his Fire Blast. And he actually has a very strong just presence now. He doesn't have more minions on the board. The minions he does have count for a lot more in this position.
Tempting and taunting. What to do in a situation like this.
And still Taloff does not know which cards, which secrets are played rather, over on Wynntense's side of the board. There is that counterspell, which really could screw with these Feral Wolves. Ah, you know, I think he was testing for the counterspell. He wisely plays the Rockbiter first. So it gets eaten up, but we do see the 2-3 taunts come out.
Wow.
A good counterplay of his own. I don't think he wants to use his axe here because he'll take at least 3 damage. What does he choose? Okay, so he plays the Azure Drake into the Harvest Golem, removes the taunt, pulls the 2-1 out, uses up the Death Rattle. And then he pops the totem and... Oh, Wynn just pulled his Flame Strike.
Owie wowie.
That is a full board clear. Talk about timing. Wow. Okay, so he drops Taloff to 1 HP and he's frozen. That's got to be game. Yes.
That's an ass beat.
That is game. Wow.
Well done. Well done. And it's boobs for the win.
There was no other card he could have drawn that would put him in that position. I don't believe he even has Blizzard in this deck, and without any spell power, that would not have been the full board clear. Ah, man. That's got to feel bad for Taloff. But that's going to make this more exciting, because that means we're going to Game 5. Let's see.
Oh, the sweet smell of
Oh, and
inspiration.
he's going to concede. A well-played game from both players.
Well done, gentlemen.
Yay, an Ethereal Canist.
Well, congratulations to Wynn, and we will see you in match 5.
Shaking his hands.
He's like,